Alright, YouTube, it's YVNG Taz back with another one. This time we're watching a Fern video. I seen this pop up everywhere on my TikTok. Not this one specifically, but just like channel in general. So I was like, I gotta see what's going on. And their videos look tough. I'm so glad you can't see my Switch chat. But this video is called The Evil Design of Communist Surveillance. Hey man. I ain't got nothing to say, bruh. The world's cooked. Ooh, what is that one? I was brainwashed. It's called a master. Hey man, I got another video to react to, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm locked into this, bro.
Way to church.
Oh, well, first and foremost, forgot to say it. Everything I react to is live on my Twitch channel, man. It's gonna pop up right there beside that dude's face. You know what I'm saying? Or go hit one of the links in the description and follow. Support is free. We're at 210 subs counting at the moment. You know what I'm saying? Road to 1,000. Brick by brick. Now let's get into it. I'm such a natural.
Throws away a piece of paper. Seconds later, another man retrieves it. He's an agent of East Germany's notorious secret police, the Stasi.
The huh?
And this is just a tiny.
The what? English?
Police, the Stasi.
Holy cringe,
and
I gotta
this
leave.
is just a tiny piece
you say cringe,
of a
I say works.
ridiculously large operation to surveil Templin. To the Stasi, he's an enemy of the state.
Is that a cat? Why he holding his cat like that, bruh? He already look deceiving, evil. He got some hidden agendas, and I'm already knowing.
But he's not a Western spy. He's not planning the downfall of the government or an assassination of a socialist leader. His crime is setting up a small group of people who want to discuss human rights in the GDR. The Stasi will set up.
Wait, so is he a good guy? Did I just misperceive him off rip?
At least 10 collaborators to follow his every step. They'll wait in front of his house in the morning, follow him to the bakery, sit next to him in a cafe, take the same train, open his mail, read his bank statements, and intercept his phone calls. They'll type their observations into a file on him. It's several Bibles worth of text.
Damn.
They'll infiltrate his friend groups, harass him at home, spread false rumors, pressure his employer.
Dang, bro, they don't like this, man. We spreading rumors too? Like, y'all, man, government's so messy. The government's so messy.
To fire him, threaten to take away his kids. They'll even plan to have one of their collaborators start an affair with his wife, just to wreck his marriage. They don't want to put him in jail. That would only make a martyr out of him. They want to break him psychologically without leaving any trace. The Stasi was arguably the most intrusive and omnipresent surveillance agency the world had yet seen. The ingenuity of their methods is unparalleled. In this video, we will look at all the techniques at the Stasi's disposal, from regular spying all the way to the utter destruction of the victim's psyche. On October 7, 1949, a new country was born. The German Democratic
Isn't this World War II?
Republic
or the end of
East Germany. Under Soviet supervision, the country's socialist government wants to create a paradise for the working class. Obstacles are plenty though. Citizens protest against the one-party dictatorship. Thousands flee the country to the west. Meanwhile, the Soviet Union views East Germany as a fragile experiment, not a trusted ally. Soviet dictator Joseph Stalin is skeptical that a population with such a strong fascist past can be trusted with their own state. East German leaders are desperate to prove that they are loyal and competent. And he is one of them, Erich Mielke.
Alright, bro, the dude in this video has to be like German or something, bro, because how he just say that name like that, bro? He's like, Eric. Like, that was my bad.
From a rough neighborhood in Berlin, Mielke joined the Communist Party as a teenager during the Weimar Republic.
Wow.
As a young man, he cut his teeth fighting fascists in the street. To prove his loyalty to the party, he even gunned down 2 policemen in broad daylight, as revenge for them killing a communist. With the
broad daylight, bro. People be moving different, bro. People be living their lives like it's GTA every day. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got it, bro.
Nazis on the rise and the murder warrant hanging over him, Mielke fled to the Soviet Union. He would spend World War II in exile, eventually working for the Soviet secret police. In Moscow, Mielke got a front-row seat of Stalin at his most paranoid. An approach to politics Mielke would later bring back to East Germany. It takes Mielke just a few years to become the Stasi's chairman. He has big plans to build a ruthless police force so indispensable to the new regime that nobody could imagine East Germany without it, or without him. The Stasi is considered the shield and sword of the ruling party, responsible for eliminating so-called hostile elements. And from the Stasi's perspective, there's no lack of threats, swarming all around, but also within the country. At first, the Stasi openly practices violence against perceived enemies and traitors. They don't shy away from explicit terror and executing citizens after sham trials. But blatant oppression
Just damn near a gang towards your own country, bruh.
turns out not to be great branding for socialism. East Germany wants international credibility as an ideal state, so the Stasi moves towards secrecy and surveillance instead. And this gives birth to the arguably most intrusive and omnipresent surveillance state the world had yet seen.
It has been proven that
Alright, first and foremost, how do they know all this? Where is all this information coming from? You got it inside school, bro? I'm just asking.
people like Templin are incorrigible enemies of socialism. Anyone who associates with such people must be aware of the consequences. 6 a.m. The observation at the home of Central One started.
For Templin, this is a regular day. He leaves the house at 7:30 a.m.
87? I'm thinking this is like forever ago. This is recent. Well, not recent, but you know what I'm saying. Not too far away.
Day. He leaves the house at 7:30 a.m. He makes a short stop at the bakery. He takes the train to a residential building. He stays there about an hour, then takes the train back home. But someone is following his every step, and everything will be protocoled. In his very own Stasi file, they will give him a code name, Central One.
4:45 p.m. Central One left his home with his bike and a toddler, still with his brown shoulder back. He drove to a church institution.
There, he talks to the pastor. And that's it. Not much more happens after that. The agent's 17-hour-long shift ends at 11:35 p.m. At this point, Templin has been under surveillance for 16 years. But
I'm not gonna lie, I'm thinking Buddy was the bad dude the whole time. He might be the good dude, and they doing him dirty.
The special scrutiny given to him wasn't an outlier.
God.
Throughout the 1980s, the Stasi had tens of thousands of ongoing operations on other individuals deemed suspicious.
Goodness.
Without context, numbers like that don't tell us much. But data analytics are powerful, and with Brilliant, you can learn about it too. Brilliant is an interactive learning app.
Now y'all know we don't do ads, man. You know what I'm saying? Jump ahead.
Has to offer.
Yep, you ain't Mr. Beast.
Our surveillance ran through every layer of society. Mielke even secretly surveilled the country's most powerful man, Chairman Erich Honecker.
Nah, he's
Mielke
different.
kept the most incriminating information in a red pleather suitcase, just in case he'd need it one day. The Stasi had access to everything: medical records, bank statements, school reports. But what they really wanted to know was what people were thinking behind closed doors.
Nah, bro, that's a whole different level of that's a whole different level of dictatorship and all that. I know exactly that's what fascism and all that extra stuff mean, kinda, but that's a whole different level, bro. You trying to get inside the brains of people, bro? Do you want to be God? Is that what it is at this point? Is that what this is? Is that what America coming to? We trying to be God? My nigga. Kill me before you ever try to get inside of here, bro.
Naturally, this was no easy feat, so they had to get creative. This unassuming building in East Berlin looks like a regular post office. The workers inside wear postal uniforms. They tell their neighbors they just sort mail, but in reality, this is the headquarters of Department M, one of the Stasi's largest operations. Inside, hundreds of Stasi employees spent their days steaming open tens of thousands of letters and recording their contents. They scan and open packages, looking for forbidden items from the capitalist West. If they find money or anything valuable, they'll often keep it for themselves. Here in this other Berlin building is the headquarters of Department 26, responsible for acoustic surveillance. Over 1,000 employees secretly connect to bases like public telephones, apartments of informants, and telephone switchboards, automatically recording thousands of phone and closed-room conversations at once. But they don't actually have the staff to analyze all those conversations. They just keep them in case they need them later.
Keep all the calls of people? Like, what do you... Oh, nah, bro. I don't know what they had going on back in the day, but y'all got it, bro. And I know if they still doing it to this day, it's got to be slight. AI, computers, robots, all that other stuff. Bro, this is slight nowadays. Before,
Higher up,
you had to be dedicated. Like, I'm talking fully in
Stasi
it.
food chain, elite engineers develop more intricate technology. They're known as the OTS. They operate here, in this restricted, highly secured area of East Berlin. Very few people know what's going on, and won't until the Soviet Union collapses. The OTS developed James Bond-like gadgets to observe citizens when they least expect it. Stuff like cameras behind buttonholes or microphones and fake sugar cubes. The tinier, the better. If the Stasi finds someone suspicious, they'll often map out the suspect's entire apartments so technicians can plan exactly where to hide bugs. Then, posing as electricians or maintenance workers, they'll gain access and install microphones in walls, lamps, and ceiling moldings. No corner of East Germany is too sacred for spying. There's bugs in doctors' offices, church confessionals, even private bathrooms.
Nah, they
For
got
a
it,
while,
bro.
many would save their
They got it,
sensitive
bro.
conversations for ping-pong games in the park. But then the Stasi picked up on that and started bugging the trees. If Stasi agents visit your home,
Hey, man. I don't even know what to say, bro.
they might also
I don't
take
know
your
what to say.
underwear or fabric from a chair you were sitting on. This would then go into their archive of smells as a scent sample. The Stasi keeps an entire library of body odors. Scents, like fingerprints, are unique. They train dogs on the samples to track down escapees or to prove that suspects have been at crime scenes.
What?
Sometimes the Stasi agent has to track a target without yet knowing who it is. Or they have to tail someone in a crowd without drawing attention. For that, they have an ingenious trick up their sleeve. This is a quiet, vibrating Geiger counter. A Stasi agent wears it under their coat, the counter under one armpit and a vibrator under the other. To find an unidentified dissident or to follow a suspect inconspicuously, the agent just needs to follow the telltale ticking. That's because dissidents are often tagged with radioactive material. The Stasi sprays suspicious cars or rooms and sometimes even individuals directly with a high dose of scandium. Once contaminated, they can be followed using the hidden device.
Bro, this is like in the 80s, and whenever they said this was. Bro, imagine the technology nowadays. This is genuinely scary, bro.
The Stasi is aware that radioactive tagging poses health risks, so they develop special air guns that can spray the substance from a safe enough distance. For themselves. The secret police is also interested in seeing how West German money circulates, so they spray Deutsche Mark notes. The idea is to retrieve the banknotes and determine who is doing illegal business with enemies. By their own calculations, 2 notes in one man's pocket pose such a high risk to male fertility that it comes, in their own words, close to castration. Later, several East German dissidents will die of rare cancers. It's suspected to be connected to the high rates of radiation exposure, though it's not possible to know for sure. But the Stasi went even further.
Hey, man. Shout out to Stasi, because they was in their bag. You know what I'm saying? That was in the bag back in the day, bro.
Templin is visiting an old friend, Werner Fischer. It's not just a casual hangout, though. Fischer's hosting the second gathering of the Peace and Human Rights Initiative. And Templin, who's been interrogated and tailed by the Stasi before, knows the stakes are high. But at least it's just a small group of trustworthy people he's known for years. Like Lothar Pawlitzak, a good friend from university.
In the evening hours of May 17, 1987, another gathering took place in Fischer's apartment as part of the lecture series on Eastern Europe initiated by Templin.
The Initiative for Peace and Human Rights is a rare thing in East Germany. An open opposition group formed of diverse ideologies. It encompasses committed Marxists who feel betrayed by their country's undemocratic expression of so-called socialism, but also Christians, liberals, and other ideologies that run counter to the state. It makes party officials very nervous. What Templin doesn't know, Pawlitzak isn't here today because he's interested in Hungarian history. He's here solely to spy on Templin.
His own mans?
interested in
Nah, bro. His own man's is about to get him killed and murdered. Oh my god, bro. Bro, he really, since university, his own man's finna take him out to the gov, bro. Oh, he's cooked.
Hungarian history. He's here solely to spy on Templin.
Damn.
In fact, he's been reporting on him for more than 10 years. But Pavlicek is not a full-time Stasi secret agent. He has a normal life and a normal job. He is what's called an unofficial collaborator. Basically, a citizen spy. No country in the 20th century devoted more resources to domestic surveillance than East Germany. By 1989, East Germany had a population of about 16 million citizens. That year, about 90,000 Stasi officers were on the payroll, about one secret policeman for about 177 people. A far higher ratio than the Soviet Union's secret police KGB or the Nazis' Gestapo. Beyond the absurdly bloated police apparatus, the network of unofficial collaborators was even more enormous. The country was absolutely crawling with amateur spies, neighbors, co-workers, even kids, discreetly betraying their own communities. Depending on the source, up to 200,000 unofficial collaborators supported the 90,000 official employees in spying on their citizens. At least one spy for every 60 citizens, possibly more. Many unofficial collaborators were enthusiastic volunteers who supported the Stasi for ideological reasons. Pavlicek says he joined at 17 for a sense of adventure and the hopes to maybe become an agent abroad. Some snitched for cash payments or career advancement. Others were manipulated, blackmailed, or coerced into becoming informants. There are many cases of family members spying on each other. One famous case had a husband reporting his wife's every move to the Stasi for years. She only found out later when she read in her file whispered conversations they had in bed and even details about her sex life. The network of unofficial collaborators created widespread...
Your own man's the one who is, snitching too.
Mistrust and fear.
Everybody in
the
that
Stasi's own words, the unofficial collaborators were
soul.
the main weapon in the fight against the enemy. Later this evening, Pavlicek walks home with another group member, Ibrahim Böhme.
On the way home, the unofficial collaborator had the opportunity to talk to Böhme, Ibrahim. The unofficial collaborator described Böhme as an intelligent person with high moral independence.
Pavlicek carefully remembers the conversation, eager to report it back to his officer. What he doesn't know is that Böhme is doing the exact same thing. Two spies, spying on each other, neither the wiser. Pavlicek will report on Böhme. Böhme will report on Pavlicek. Both will report on Templin. As it turns out, on this very evening, 4 out of 16 participants were working for the Stasi.
What?
But being all around Templin is not enough. You see,
bro, they cooked my man's up. Bro, they cooked him.
Templin was with the Stasi himself for a while when he was young. But after a while he confided in his friends, uneasy about the job. Ever since, he's been branded a traitor. And a while back, Stasi Captain Gerhard Haas started targeting him with the agency's ultimate weapon, an operational procedure. It's been a few weeks since the Initiative for Peace and Human Rights has formed. A man shows up out of nowhere at Templin's door, demanding to know where he should deliver the car. He's holding a contract with Templin's name and signature on it, for a car Templin never ordered. A very expensive car. Templin wouldn't be able to afford it even if he wanted to. He used to have a great job at the Academy of Sciences, until he was suddenly fired. The East German constitution grants every citizen the right to employment. Officially, there is no unemployment in the country, meaning there's no need for unemployment benefits either.
Cool.
Templin and his wife try to piece together a living with whatever odd jobs they can rustle up. Later, Templin's file confirms that the Stasi was systematically sabotaging his career. At first, Templin thinks this business with the car could be a misunderstanding. But later that evening, his door rings 2 more times. More delivery men with fake contracts. The next day, more calls, more knocks. In the following weeks, he'll receive mountains of mail. Dozens of strangers arrive with more unwanted deliveries. More cars, electronics, valuable antiques. Then it gets weirder. A cement mixer, kilos and kilos of parakeet food, tens of thousands of condoms, hundreds of live chickens. Wolfgang has to send them all away. Some threaten to roughen him up. Many have traveled for hours to reach him, and all are expecting to get paid. It's stressful.
Are these all agents going at him like this? Cause holy.
And it gets in the way of his activism, which is, of course, exactly the point.
Yep.
And it's only the beginning. Time for the next stage of Templine's operational procedure.
I ain't gonna lie, you do all that to me, bro. You might already cooked me. You might have cooked me, bro. I ain't gonna lie. You might have cooked me right there, bro. All that stuff's going to the crib. You just trying to.
Haas is typing up an action plan.
Main
move,
goals:
bro.
isolating and
Fly away.
discrediting Templine with respect to other initiators of political underground activity, personal destabilization and criminalization.
It's a method developed by Mielke himself, codified as policy in Directive 1/76. According to his manual, the goal of an operative procedure should be to
Systematically destroy the subject's reputation, organize their professional downfall, and undermine their self-confidence.
Oh my
And
god.
third, create distrust and mutual suspicions within a group.
And
Yeah,
Mielke
and they
specifically
doing all of it.
motivates his
All
agents
of
to
it.
be creative, to feel free to ruin lives however they see fit. The ultimate aim
However.
was to break the spirit of rebellious individuals and groups so that they could no longer
Hey man, one thing about them people who want their way, they gonna find a way to do it. You know what I'm saying? It might be inhumane. It might drive somebody crazy like him. But man, they gonna do their thing. Oh my god.
But Templin knows the Stasi is hot on his heels. So against all
Hot on your heels, bro. They on your ass. Move.
obstacles, he steps up his activism even more.
Oh, he
By
wants to
December
die.
1987, he's participating in actions nearly every day. The Stasi can't keep up. The opposition is strengthening. Civil rights activists are acting more and more openly, and Templin is in the middle of it all. So, the Stasi escalates. They get the unofficial collaborators to up the ante with smear campaigns to ruin Templin's reputation as an activist. They assign him to a spacious apartment with central heating, one that he, hardly scraping by, wouldn't normally be able to afford. The goal is to make people think he's getting paid off by the Stasi. And they're spreading false information that suggests
he's
he's
getting
betrayed the
cooked.
resistance. Then they come for his family. They plan to
family,
find an
bro.
unofficial collaborator to seduce his wife Regina. Often the Stasi would deploy so-called Romeo agents, trained seducers to charm West German women who worked in government in order to extract intelligence. But the Stasi also weaponized seduction and rumors of infidelity to sow distrust and destabilize a dissident's family. But their plan doesn't pan out in this case. Either the Stasi never acted on their intention, or the assigned seducer wasn't very good at his job. Instead, Regina and Wolfgang are arrested.
W lure your wife, bro, because if he wasn't good, you know what I'm saying, she loyal.
And after no trial or verdict, they're forced into temporary exile. They're separated from their children, who, like the children of many dissidents, are snatched up and placed in a home. Anything
That's
to
crazy.
crack him. The Stasi called this Zersetzung, which means decomposition or
Once you take a kid from somebody, bro, that's when they start going mental. Bro.
breakdown.
That's the bad part. Everything else you can kind of push off, be like, just always think about, but the kid, y'all are evil.
Every case was unique. The Stasi would use all the information gathered from excessive surveillance to harass its targets in a hyper-specific way. All those dull hours of surveillance enabled the Stasi to know exactly what would hurt a target most. For Templin, it was his family, his career, and his reputation as an activist. Some victims were simply made to feel crazy. A favorite tactic was for Stasi agents to sneak into a target's apartment and rearrange the furniture. But just slightly. Clocks were changed, fridges rearranged, just enough so that targets would start to question reality. Even many years after the wall fell, victims of Zersetzung demonstrate higher levels of extreme distrust and heart problems. Some
would too.
died by suicide.
Oh,
Exiled to West Germany, Wolfgang Templin and his wife Regina were still
rest they
spied
soul.
on and intimidated by Stasi agents. But they kept up their activism, still in close contact
W,
with dissidents back
W.
home. Leading human rights activists were also arrested. These arrests sparked a huge wave of protest.
People who can get harassed, bullied, manipulated, lied about, anything else that comes with being an activist for something positive, shout out you, man, for being mentally strong in this life, man, because I know it ain't easy.
The people had enough.
Civil rights activists plan to use the event to demonstrate for more freedom.
Regina and Wolfgang's exile wasn't long. By November '89, the wall came down, and they hurried home to continue their political work, this time with an official seat at the table, to help rebuild East Germany with a democratic vision. After Germany's reunification, former GDR citizens were permitted to see their Stasi files, if they could stomach what was inside. Millions requested their files by the mid-90s, and many were shocked to see the names of their trusted friends and family members who had snitched on them. East Germany became known as a nation of traitors. And for many, this sense of broken trust was the deepest trauma left from the mass surveillance. Today, Germany is one of the most privacy-conscious countries in the world. East Germany had strikingly high levels of suicide and alcohol abuse. From 1949 to 1990, about 50% more East Germans took their own lives than West Germans. A complex issue, and to blame it solely on the political system is an oversimplification. Still, the emotional damage inflicted by the regime can't be ignored. After the German reunification, Erich Mielke was imprisoned for the murders of the two policemen in 1931. But he was never formally indicted for the crimes he committed as head of the Stasi. When he died, crowds celebrated. His grave was defaced within hours of his burial.
Dang, bro, evil people live forever, bro. He lived a 92? God damn.
The fall of the GDR, he said,
Millions have died for nothing. Everything we fought for. It has all amounted to nothing.
Oh, no, he was evil. That man was evil.
Still,
because holy man. But if you made it this far into my video, reacting to their video, like, comment, subscribe, and I'm gonna put a link down in the description to their original video, because this was really good animated and narrated and all that other stuff, because hey man, it just was really good. So like I said, like, comment, subscribe, and if you enjoyed the video, let me know, because I like learning. I hope you do too, because like we need it nowadays. Just saying. But I'm gonna say one last time and I'm done. Like, comment, subscribe, and Taz out. Deuces.